everybody. Welcome to Performance Anxiety, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Before we get started, I do want to take a second and thank AKG for sending me their Podcaster Essentials kit. It's got an incredible Lyra mic and the most incredibly comfortable headphones that I've ever used. And AKG's Podcaster Essentials kit has streamlined how we record. The quality is incredible for such an affordable package. It's not every day that an artist comes out of the blue to make me pause. Derek Day did exactly that. He started out playing on the streets in Santa Monica, doing over 70 different cover songs. Now he's writing and recording with artists like Vernon Reid and opening for Living Colour, Ted Nugent, and Steve Vai. He has so much energy on stage and just in everyday life. I'm so glad we met, and I really look forward to the day I can catch a live show of his. His career is snowballing, so I recommend checking him out now so you can always say, I've known about Derek Day forever. Follow him at Derek Day Music on social media. Check out his latest single, Fine Lines, on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you check out new music. Remember to follow us, too, at Performance ANX. Merchandise is at performanceanx.threadless.com. It's got our logo on it, which was designed by Mark Dancy, who also did the logo for Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger. You can always buy us a non-committal cup of coffee at ko-fi.com/performanceanxiety. And please rate and review the show, no matter where you listen. It really does help. So buckle up, because this is one energetic show with Derek Day on Performance Anxiety, part of the Pantheon Podcast Network.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Performance Anxiety pod. Okay, cool. Okay. Hello, this is Derek Day coming at you, weighing in at 100 and hopefully not more than 70 pounds. I want to say hello, and you're listening to Performance Anxiety podcast with Mark Shea and Derek Day. We rhyme today, and hey, check out my new song, Fine Lines. It is a music video directed by Vicente Cordero, and it was super fun, and it's about lines that are fine. I don't know, that's probably... yeah. I didn't intend to mess up, but I figured that's what you wanted anyway.
I'm just getting myself squared away here. I'm a little disorganized tonight, so...
No, it's all good. Me too. I'm like everywhere.
Well, I did drink like 8 pots of coffee just to keep up with your energy levels, so...
Oh, awesome. Killer.
But I did feel my heart about to explode, so I am having a bourbon. Calm it all down.
Nice. Yes, good call.
Yeah. I should
Mark,
be a doctor.
Yeah, you should. Absolutely. I was going to ask, where are you right now? Where are you located?
I am in my living room. Actually, in Virginia.
In Virginia.
Yeah. Winchester, Virginia, home of Patsy Cline.
Nice. Killer.
Yes. I'm about, 75 miles due west of D.C.
Oh, killer. Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when you come to D.C., I'm going to be there.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
So one of the things that I want to do, and I'll mention it to you now. I went to college like 2 lifetimes ago for photography. And just before the pandemic hit, I kind of stopped when my wife and I had started a family. And I started shooting live events, live music events again, just before the pandemic hit. So watching your videos, I have got to see you, and I have to bring my camera because your shows are insane.
Oh, killer! In
a great way.
Awesome. That's so cool. I mean, it's so different from like when you see it on a screen. So it's like I'm glad you have that eye. I'm sure you have that, like you can picture it in real time.
You don't even need it, man. You're just so full of energy. It's crazy.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
What I like to do is find out about the people coming on, and to find out where you are, I like to know where you came from. So, want to start off at the beginning.
Okay.
So, how did you get into music in the first place? Was there a lot of music in the house? Were you listening to music? With parents listening to music?
Yeah, but actually, you just hit it you hit the nail on the head. My parents would listen to music every freaking all the time, but nobody really played music. But like my mom would play disco while she was like cleaning the house, and my dad would play like maybe like some Zeppelin and stuff. They're both immigrants, and they just like that cool music.
That's awesome. When did you start playing music yourself? Did you start off on guitar? Did they start off on lessons, school bands? How did music start with you?
Thankfully, I had 3 older brothers, and they were 2 of them took guitar classes, and they heard when you have older brothers, they have sick taste in music. They just show you all the.
I am the older brother.
Stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm sure you started off listening to like heavy metal or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like some sort of rock and roll.
My mom actually got me into it. She bought me my first Led Zeppelin album.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then, so I'm a little bit older than you. And so we went out. She had bought a whole bunch of vinyl. She loved Stairway to Heaven. And she's like, okay, I'm done with this. You can have it. And I'm like, okay. So I started listening to it, and Black Dog just blew my mind. So that's how I got into it. So that's how I got my big brother musical taste.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome. Man, I mean, I was just like, my brothers just gave me like, I heard him play riffs, and I was like, can you teach me that? Like, I want to do that. And they were just teaching me like Sabbath and stuff, and
nice.
Ramones and stuff. But then it was pretty much all self-taught from there. Like, I stole my older brother's licks and stuff, but everything else is just, and like singing too, I would like just sing along to instrumental music, actually.
Oh,
and that's kind of, yeah.
like actual instrumentals, and make up your own lyrics?
Not even make up lyrics, just kind of like imitate whatever the tone or whatever the voicing would be.
Oh, wow.
As much as I can. It's just funner. There's more loops and twirls and stuff.
That's crazy. So what were you listening to that kind of inspired you vocally? Because you've got kind of a throwback vocal sound and style.
I would always sing. One of the first like CDs I ever bought was Cream of Clapton.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
just like the best of. It's I think it's like really famous like best of CD, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Man, it's like that was the first thing I had, and like all the solos in that are so singable, and like I would just start singing to that just because his tone was perfect, and it was like so good. So like that, and then like Guns N' Roses solos, and then after that, just kind of like just singing it. I don't know.
Wow. For people who haven't heard you before this interview, I was trying to figure out how to describe your vocals, and I just did a podcast not too long ago that I released defending hair metal. And I had 3 prior guests on, Jason Thompson from Vast Robot Armies, actually 2 prior guests, and a host of another podcast that I know. So it was Jason Thompson from Vast Robot Armies, Ryan Smith from Soul Asylum, and this guy Mike Shue, who hosts a podcast called Long May You Young. Great podcast. If you like Neil Young, you got to check this out, because they go over every single Neil Young album chronologically.
Wow.
So we were all hair metal fans, so we just kind of started talking about doing a show for it. And your voice reminds me of some of the singers we were talking about. I mean, it's kind of like Sebastian Bach on steroids, Mark Slaughter, if his testicles ever dropped, maybe a little David Coverdale, definitely some Axl Rose in there. It's that era vocals, and it's amazing to me. I've sent all those guys your music, so they're listening to it now, but
oh yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Was those the guys that were influencing you? I mean, because a lot of people kind of eschew that era of vocals and music, and they're more, I want to sound like Chris Cornell or Eddie Vedder, but man, you've just got Axl Rose pipes.
Oh, thanks so much, dude. And that's such a compliment, because Axl has like, yeah, man. But like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't so much every band from like the 80s. It really was more maybe like the super hits I would hear on like 95.5 KLOS, like on the radio. I would hear like those hits, but I think it was just like Guns and like like Guns, Clapton, and then like freaking I had it on the tip of my tongue. I don't know. It was like a lot of 60s guitar players, and like Stevie Ray Vaughan, like 70s.
Oh yeah.
But also like his grit and stuff. But at the same time, my mom like like constantly played like ABBA and Michael Jackson and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that really seeped. I think that's like where the high stuff, I don't know, some of the trills and licks come from.
Okay. When did you start playing out on the street? Because you started, you're from LA, and then you end up playing on the streets in Santa Monica. Yeah. How did that all happen? Because you started that pretty young, right?
I did, yeah. Well, I started it when I was 13, but I've been going to that little promenade where all those players are, like, since I was like 3 or 4, and I just remember all these memories of good, talented musicians, just like getting some dollars. So like it just kind of kept going in my head. I'm like, I want to do that. They're having fun. They're getting some money. Like, I just want to do that. So I just jumped out. I ran out with my dad, and like I chose like a dark corner, you know, so like I could test the waters. Yeah. And but man, yeah, that was like around 13. I did it I still did it until like everything shut down, actually. Wow. But there was a time there for like almost like a strong 10 years. I would do it every weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just every single weekend. So I kind of like, that's how I like learned music and performing. And you're going out there by yourself. There's no band. It's just you. Yeah, or maybe backing tracks. Right. Yeah. But no people. It's just you. Yeah. So when you first started, were you going out there with an electric and a little amp, or was it acoustic, or how did you get started with that? I tried some different things. I even brought out like a piano and stuff, but I always just like honed in on the electric with an amp and and I even I had literally the first things I had was like a giant car battery to mic up a really shitty Marshall amp and a first act to play for my vocals. Oh, nice. And it was, I still have it. It's like super small and like like a fat, like giant CD player, like a stereo player with like really shitty speakers. And like I have like 10 CDs I would like have to skip, and they always got scratched. And that's like how it happened for like the first year or so, couple of years. Were you writing your own music at this time? Because I'm watching those videos and dude, I just went down such a YouTube rabbit hole watching your stuff. Were you writing your own music? Because you do a lot of the videos are covers. Yeah. When did you start writing your own music? I actually dabbled when I was right around like 13, 14, like in school, when I was like, you know, like experiencing emotions for the first time. I like dabbled, and I wrote like full length songs, but they all really sucked. They were like terrible, of course. Teenager songs, man. Teenager, but like even worse. Like I remember I had this song. Actually, like when I was like 9 or 10, I wrote this song called "Surfing on the Clouds of Hell." Whoa, that's just remember. That is awesome. Oh God, no, it's not. Does hell have clouds? I guess so. I don't know. Maybe it's like a rock song or something. That's crazy. But yeah, I took it serious and like started like recording with bands when I was like 15, 16. I think I was like, all right, like I listened to the Beatles way more. I got like what music should sound like, I think. You started learning song structure and things. Yeah, absolutely. And I started going to like after school free programs, like to learn a little bit of theory and a little bit of piano and stuff. Just free, like my school offered it. It was so cool. Oh, that's awesome. You've got one hell of a stage presence. And you said when you first started out, you would sit there kind of in the corner, dark corner, playing yourself. When did that stage presence start to come? Because you own whatever section they cordon off for you or whatever stage you're on. How did that happen? Oh, man. I think it's like, well, playing on the street for so long, you learn what like rejection is like immediately. Yeah. And you just like really try to fight it. And like, I think my whole goal was like whatever gets someone to stop, like everyone's either shopping or going to the movies or a restaurant. So the whole goal is to try to make them late. Like, no, just watch the few songs. And so I was just like rolling on the floor. I think like, so when I was 13, I was like really nervous and like that. But I like noticed like, all right, well, if it's a guitar solo, I gotta like step forward and show people. Because people were seriously like, you're lip syncing and you're not doing this. Like, wow. Nobody believed me. I think people were coming after me like, so what, how do you like practice like pretending to play so good? How do you air guitar so well? Yeah, I'm like, come on, like, because I'm like a kid. I'm like, what? I think that pushed me to be like, all right, fine. So like, I got like longer cables, and I went right to people's faces, and like, I'm like showing it to them. There are a couple of times where I would like, people would call me out during a song, and I would like stop and like do a solo or some shit. I don't know.
Nice.
So I think it was just out of like I had to like try to convince people that I'm not faking it. Like, this is it. And it's also pretty dangerous. Like you develop a thick skin. There's like a lot of crazy people. It's by the beach. So like a lot of crazy people and bums and drunk people from brunch. Like they just mess with you. Yeah.
Man, I hate those
there's so many
brunchers.
Actually, yeah. I mean,
Assholes.
mainly the ones that go to college, like the jock dudes. They
frat boys.
They like grab your mic and they'll like play your guitar during like while you're playing, like on my backup guitar. It's like, dude, come on. Like there's been a few altercations, but
hey, I don't go to your foosball table and start screwing around with your foosball.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I don't like go to your beer pong match and like try to celebrity shot without you while you're doing your shot.
Yeah, swap out your Miller for Bud.
Yeah, dude, bruh. But because I've dealt with so much of that and people like literally taking my bucket and running and stuff, I'm so happy to be on a stage now. Like there's no like sound police. There's no crazy homeless people. There's just like an audience that are there like on purpose with intention.
So how do they monitor that? You just mentioned sound police. How your videos? I mean, you sound like you're cranking it up. How do they monitor that with so many people around?
Oh man, yeah. Every 120 feet, there's another performer. That's like the rule. Yeah. And there's only like there's certain times when you could play, but they have like a little sound meter that you could get at Radio Shack or something. But they have like a special tampered one, and they go hard. Like they don't really let you have any fun. Wow. So I just crank it, and my dad would come out with me, and he would just keep a lookout and stuff, and I would even make friends with people there, like just like really cool regulars that just hang out there. I'm like, they would just kind of stand in the corners and they would give me signs. Like there's one down the street. I just turn it down. I'd play like a Pink Floyd song or something. Nice. And then, then I would go back up to like heavier shit.
That's hilarious. Speaking of Pink Floyd, that was one of my favorite videos. Who's taking these videos of you on the promenade?
I don't know, actually. Just random people. I don't really put any up. I think I put one up like years ago, but all of those are just people.
Good, because I wanted to talk about a couple that cracked me up. And I didn't want to I didn't want to piss off like your dad or your manager or something, because there were two that absolutely destroyed me because of whoever was taking the video, I guess. There's one, you're doing Time, I think, by Pink Floyd. Yeah. And whoever is filming it starts to sing the song before you even really get started, and he's got the words so wrong. They're not even close. I mean, it's literally like some dude with an Indian accent, making words up that don't belong in the song at all.
This is a great piece from The Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah, Pink Floyd. Thinking away, I understand you all the way. Thinking away.
Wait, dude, you have to send me that.
I will. I will find it. And the other one is, I think it's the same guy. Because you start playing like Pride and Joy or Couldn't Stand the Weather or something, and he's like, "Oh yes, Stephen Ray Vaughan." Like, Stephen Ray Vaughan. What? And I tried to find that one again. I couldn't find it. I gotta go down that rabbit hole again. I'll send them to you because they killed me.
That's freaking awesome.
Oh my god. But you do an incredible amount of covers. I mean, how do you know how many that you were able to do?
Man, I don't even know. I had like a whole, I don't even know, like an MP3 at some point. I had an MP3 with like 120 on them, and maybe like 90 or not, I don't know, like maybe like 70 I knew like I could do this now. God. And the other half I like knew it, but I never really played them. I just had them. I could get through it and stuff.
That's all right. So I'm going to list off a couple just so people get an idea of the breadth and width of your talent here, because you've done I'm Afraid of Americans, Couldn't Stand the Weather, Psycho Killer, one of my favorite Van Halen songs ever, Could This Be Magic, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Benny and the Jets. You do an incredible Stairway to Heaven with a wah at the end of the solo. That's amazing. I absolutely love that. And then you do a cover of a song that I've never heard of. Well, I've never heard of because I don't listen to Justin Timberlake, but you do Push Your Love Girl.
I don't wanna cut down on the kind of loving you. Now you got me hot upon me. So I'm gonna see it, baby. So gonna be my dealer, baby. All I want is you. One more time, push your love. I'm gonna see it, baby. So gonna be my dealer, baby. All I want is you.
And I don't even want to hear the Justin Timberlake version. So that's it. I don't care what his version is. Your version is the one that I want to hear.
Yeah.
And you do an amazing version of Civil War where you're basically Axl and Slash. So you are like a one-man Guns N' Roses band.
Sick.
It's crazy. So
Slaxel.
I love it. That could be that. There you go. That's the name of your GNR cover band. I did hear that at one point you wanted to be a chef. So how did you go from chefery, if that's a word, to music? What
chefery?
What turned you?
Man, I don't know. I mean, that was such a young age. I think I was like either playing guitar or I think the idea of becoming, even wanting to be a chef was like, I learned how to crack an egg and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I just felt like I discovered a whole new thing. Like I did it right. So, but no, I don't know. Like, I think I just got really into music and, but I feel like they're so similar though. Like they're just like food is like the music of mouths.
The way. Yes, you are correct. You make a good point though, because especially when you're out on your own playing other people's tracks, it's a lot like cooking. You know, I mean, every chef makes an eggs Benedict, but some are better than others, and it's all basically the same ingredients. So you're doing somebody else's music. You do a version of Push Your Love Girl that I don't even want to hear the original version. So, yeah, you make a good point.
Cool.
So you do actually have a connection with GNR, though.
I do. Well, a slight connection.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So because and I don't know if you want to, I know we probably don't want to delve too much into this, but you've got your own music, but you're also a frontman in a band.
Yeah, that's right. I could talk a little bit about it. I had this band, Classless Act, and originally it was formed by Slash's kid, London Hudson.
Right.
Him and his best friend, Nico, and they were a great guitar player, and London was a great drummer. And so they just kind of like formed this band, and they're really good people, great guys. We were in a band for like a year and a half with each other. I joined in later, and
right.
But I think just over time, like he's busy, dude. We're all busy. So I think the band sort of like, we just got new members. We kind of like kept going. I'm still in the band, and we recorded a full length album, and that will be out hopefully very soon.
Awesome.
And It's been really great. We got to open up for Miles / Miles at the Palladium. It was really an honor, and
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's been a trip.
You've got some experience with keyboards and pianos. Is that another thing that you just kind of learned on your own?
Yeah, or actually, well, those after school, what do you call it? Those after school programs.
Yeah.
They just like, that's how I learned how to like touch, even like try to learn dexterity. I actually have a freaking, just in case. I learned
that's like an after school special. That was fantastic.
I wasn't doing anything really. That's if you want to like play jazz, you just don't look at the keyboard.
That was something.
Thank you.
It wasn't quite your version of Lennon's Mother, but
no, it wasn't. Yeah, that's something by Bill Evans. I don't know.
So your career has just become this snowball of amazing stuff that happens. How did you meet up with people like Steve Vai? I mean, because you released like your first solo EP in 2016, and then you're suddenly supporting Steve Vai on the 25th anniversary tour for Passion and Warfare. How did that happen?
Yeah. I got to think, well, I was born and raised in LA, and in LA, you just meet everyone in the music business, really mostly bad, mostly the bad, the fake ones and those shitheads and all that stuff. But I got very lucky. I got very fortunate to meet Ali Shayeste. He's my manager, personal manager, and he just he's been he had bands and he was in the business for a while. He knows some people and he knows some of Steve's people. But he just sent in a video of me playing Pride and Joy on the street, and I think it was actually a video I took, but it was still very terrible, probably worse than the Indian dude.
Stephen Ray Vaughan.
Steven! Yeah, exactly. I sent it in, and I was like, we were asking, like, hey, if you ever want a guy to open up, and Vi's like, all right, come up to Utah and play one show. Like, let's see if you're good enough. And I didn't even have a band still. I was a one-man guy. So I wrangled up my friends from high school, and we're like, all right, let's learn like 4 songs and Pride and Joy. And let's run up. We're gonna play a 30-minute set. So drove in a little shitty car all the way up in Utah, and that was our test. Like, if I got it, if we killed it, we get the rest of the tour. And sure enough, he loved it. He was like, dope, yeah, play the rest of the tour and stuff.
Wow.
And he doesn't even have microphones on the stage because he's all instrumental.
Yeah.
So they had to work with us. All right, let's get a mic on here and stuff. It was funny.
That's awesome. I got a chance to see him once in 2005 or 2006. And it was an amazing show. I was living in Alabama at the time, and I drove 3 hours to see him. It was my wife bought me tickets for my birthday, and so we drove up at this little place called Boutwell Auditorium. It's a small little place. I mean, talking 250, 350 person capacity, no seats, standing room only. And a guy named Eric Sardinas opened up. Tall, biggest dude I've ever seen. Oh my God, that guy's enormous. Or maybe it was the Kiss boots he was wearing. I don't know, but he's a huge dude. So,
wow,
great guitarist. He plays a set. I go out into the merch table, buy his album. I turn around, boom! I hit this enormous sweaty dude in the chest, and he's like, "Oh, cool! Hey, I'll sign that for you." And it's Eric Sardinas signs his CD.
Oh,
awesome! And then he walks away. And then
that's awesome.
So then we go and we watch Steve perform, and it's incredible. My wife goes, "All right," she's like, let's try to meet him. Oh, sure, okay. So they're ushering everybody out, and my wife goes up to the head of security, and she's like, "Look, I know this is weird." She said, I bought these tickets for my husband. It's his birthday. Steve is his hero. He loves guitars. He loves Steve's guitars. Is there any way he could meet him? And the guy's like, okay, because the show was on the second floor. The auditorium was on the second floor of this building. He's like, go downstairs, because we got to clear out. Just go downstairs and wait for me. All right, sure. So we go downstairs, and I told her, we'll wait 5 minutes. He's just brushing us off. So all right. We go downstairs. We wait a couple of minutes. He comes out and he's like, all right, come here with me. Oh, okay. So he takes us into this little hallway, and we go down into the bowels of this building, and we're going through these little hallways, and he's like, all right, he's going to come by. Most artists will take a shower right in this locker room area before they hit the buses. And then, this is a good spot for you. So like, okay. So we're sitting there waiting. Steve's tour manager comes by. I don't know who he is. He's just wearing a King's X jacket. And I'm like, dude, I love your jacket. I love King's X. And he's like, oh yeah, I was their tour manager for a while. He's like, what are you guys doing here? I'm like, the head of security said, Steve would come by and we could, maybe say hi to him and tell him how much we love the show. He's like, no, Steve's on the other side. The buses are over there. He's about to leave. And I'm like, oh. Just then, the security guy comes back. He's like, I noticed you guys didn't have anything for him to sign, so I took these posters off the wall, and I have these markers for you. Here you go. And I'm like, we're like, oh, he's on the other side of the building. He's leaving. And he's like, all right, let's go. And he like starts, and this is like this 65, 70-year-old dude. He's like, we were like trucking ass through the basement of this place. We come out to this door, and he's like, all right, that's where he is. We go out, and Steve's signing autographs for all kinds of people. There's people with like this huge, thick stack of promo cards and stuff. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to sign like 3 more things because I know you're all going to just put this on eBay. And then I'm out of here. So we work our way up. As soon as we get to him, he's like, all right, that's it. Thanks, guys. And he walks away. And I'm like, And my wife goes, oh, hell no. We didn't do all this for that. So she runs after him. She grabs his shoulder and is like, Mr. Vi. And he turns around. He's like, God. Yeah. She's like, my husband wanted to meet you so bad. We drove 3 hours for this show. This is the first concert I've ever been to. And, we didn't want to, we couldn't just let you walk away. We had to say hi. And so he stops everything. He's like, this is your first concert? She's like, yeah, I've never been to one before ever. But my husband's a huge fan. And he's like, your first concert and you decided to see me? She's like, yeah. I'm so honored. How are you guys doing? Where are you from? And so we start talking for like 10 minutes, and there's people sitting out there waiting for their autographs, and they're just like, what are you doing? How is this possible? So he shook my hand. I gave my wife a hug. He's like, thank you guys so much for coming out, man. You got a 3-hour drive back. Please be careful. So, and he signed the poster that I had, and we just walked over to the car and drove 3 hours home. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Damn! Oh my God!
I'm a Steve Vai fan for life. I mean, I was before, but man can do no wrong.
Man. That is so freaking awesome, man. And that his whole team is they're nice people. They're like, Steve only works with good people, and man, that's such a great story.
Oh, back to you, because this show is not usually about me and my stories.
No, thank you for sharing that, though. That was truly, I love Steve. Now I love him. I don't even think I could love him more, but now that's just awesome. Oh, that's so cool.
He's just phenomenal. So when did you start releasing your own stuff? Because I've seen some original material from you, and it's kind of spaced out. I mean, it goes back to 2015, 2016?
Yeah.
And you've got new stuff coming out now, but there isn't like a full length.
No, not really.
So you're just doing a lot of, up until the pandemic, are you just out touring, or what's going on?
I don't know. It's weird. I guess I'm just a sporadic person, but I did record 2 full lengths, kind of 8 songs each. And one was with a band I was in called The Kidneys. And that was my high school, my high school romance band.
The Kidneys?
The Kidneys.
That's awesome.
Yes. That's still out there. It's called Conformity by The Kidneys on Bandcamp. Oh, and cool. You'll hear it. It's a trio. So it's very we're all filling in the spaces, and we're all kind of doing some weird time signature stuff.
That's awesome. I don't know how I didn't find that.
Yeah.
it's very, I never like really talk about it. I don't know why, because the band we were like best friends and we like broke up. So it's just been weird since then.
It sucks.
But yeah, but so I don't really, not that I don't want to promote it. I guess I'm focused on this. But while recording that album, I did 8 songs of my own, just top to bottom. I played on everything except the drums because I wanted a real drummer. And that's where like we did Benny and the Jets, and there's a song like it's a lot of those are on Bandcamp and stuff. Okay. And I released the full length, but then I slowly started taking one away because I was like, I heard more mixing problems. I was like, okay, I don't want that one to be heard by anyone or that one.
Now, are you hearing these problems because you're getting more experience in the studio, or was it just you just threw it out and then like maybe that wasn't so good?
It was definitely a little bit of both. Okay. Like I'll always freaking hate on myself, but as soon as I recorded that 2015, 2016, I started playing the Ultimate Jam Night here and like at the Whiskey, and like right here, like there was this big new thing that happened right then and there. And I got so fortunate to like jump in there, and I started playing with guys from like Survivor, Quiet Riot, like these guys put together this show, and like who are like King's X, Doug
Pinnick.
Doug Pinnick was a part of it. Yeah, wow. Everyone, like all these dudes that lived in like Hollywood decided to make this every Tuesday they did this thing. And I somehow snuck in there. That's how I kind of got familiar with like Philip Bino too, and like all these good artists. And like it was right when I finished that album, I started playing with these guys. It was the first time I ever played with like dialed in people, and then I learned, and you just learn immediately like, oh, okay, now I know what's good and now I know what's bad. Like that's bad. It's kind of like that kind of thing. So
Philip and Roger Carter and Paul Trudeau, are they all playing on your song "Face Me"?
Yeah,
on the actual release?
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Tired of looking down. Turn around and face me. I'm running from you. No, you ain't living so much lately. Hanging on to what was. Won't wash away what went when we wouldn't.
Yeah, God, I know. Like, I would never even think. I would not a million years I'd get those guys.
Oh, it's such a great song.
Thank you. And they didn't like. I mean, we told them like the day before, hey, can you like come in and do something? They never heard the song before. They're like, all right, we'll come in.
Wow.
And they did it. Like, Philip Bino is just all of that was like a take. It was one take. And then we're like, all right, do one more for fun. He was making it up as he went along, and it's just genius. I'm like, God, 5-string bass. It's like crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Same with Roger Carter. He was just like that. It was at his studio, and he was just like, all right, I'll play drums on it. And he just did it. And he did it like in 3 takes maybe, and that was it.
So is that about the same time that you got the gig opening for Ted Nugent?
It was, yeah. I got the Vi gig, and then like, people like in that industry, they work with each other. They know other touring people, and so that my name was thrown in the mix, and they were like, all right, yeah, come on out. And we did the whole country, kind of, pretty much most of it.
Awesome. So you went from playing a select number of gigs, opening for Vi, to opening an entire tour for Nuge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jeez. How did you meet up with Vernon Reid?
Vernon Reid. So, like you said, things just snowball. So, like, after the Nuge tour, I got some nicer gigs. I got like some cooler like opening for like Lynch Mob, and I got one slot for Living Color in Arizona. Just one, and it was just acoustic too. Oh wow! I brought like a bass book. Yeah. And my manager Ollie also was friends with Vernon. Yeah, so we kind of like, got the chance to open up for them, and that was also a test. Like, all right, if you're good here, you might do some more. But during the Nuge tour, we stopped by the Lincoln Center. Vernon was throwing an event like for Chuck Berry right when he passed. Right. And I like learned Nadine real quick, like on the way there. And jeez. And we just did it. Like I was playing on the Lincoln Center, and he was like, all right, that's dope. And as soon as we finished the Nuge tour, like 2 weeks later, we went on the road with Living Color. It was like perfect. It was like, bam, bam.
Man, I wish I could have seen that. I got a chance to see Living Color on the Stain tour. Local dude opened up. He was really good. Quality guy. I think his name was Alan Scott. But I got a chance to see Living Color twice in my life. Once was in 93, and the other one was for the Stain tour, or for the Shade tour. So Stain and Shade.
Nice. Shade in the U.S., yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Stain tour, they opened up for Bad Brains opened up, man. It was a great show.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And they played, I was up in Rochester, New York, studying photography, and they opened up at the University of Rochester, and they just played in an auditorium for a bunch of college kids. It was crazy. My buddy, Corey decides he's going to go, I don't remember what song it was, but he jumps into the audience and starts like running through the audience. He's up in the bleachers. We're up in the bleachers, and he's just like running. He runs up right in front of us, and my buddy jumped on his back and rode him down the stairways back to the pit. So that was crazy.
Whoa. My God.
Yeah, he rode Corey Glover like a pony. It's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah. Damn.
And then I got a chance.
I love that. The Stain album is so sick. I love that album.
Dude, it is great. The Wall is one of my favorite tracks of all time. I love that.
The Wall. They did that live in the Shade too, right?
Yes.
Like so good.
Yeah, they've got and then the Shade tour was just amazing. I mean, I thought they were good in 93, but they were even better for that tour. It was just incredible. Yeah. And I think people don't always realize that they're still putting music out. I mean, The Chair in the Door is an incredible album. The Chair in the Doorway, I should say.
Chair in the Doorway.
That is a great album. Anyway,
yeah.
So you end up writing and recording kind of your music with Vernon. How was the experience different between your first time in the studio with yourself and then going in working with a guy like Vernon?
Man, that was awesome. Well, like as soon as we finished a tour with Living Color, I was like kind of bugging him and like asking him like, hey, can like we write music together, please? And he's so busy. He's constantly performing and recording and writing. Yeah. But like I knew he might be free at Christmas break. So I was like, he was nice enough to invite me over. Like I left like 3 a.m. on New Year's Day. Like as soon as the ball dropped, I went to the airport and like got there on the red eye because I knew he wouldn't have any more time. So just for about a week, I was at his house. We were like meeting up like 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning, working like till like into the late afternoon and every day. And we just wrote Click on Me and like a bunch of other songs. But Click on Me was the one we were like, all right, this is sick. Let's record this one.
That's a great tune. Kind of funny because with the pandemic and all, you got this song, Click on Me, that sounds kind of critical of everybody's almost addiction to the internet. Yeah. Unfortunately, now we're in a time where that's one of the only ways you can get music.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's such a positive and negative. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it allows you to reach so many more people. But it also allows so many more people to just, instead of stealing your money from a bucket, they're kind of, they can steal it online now.
Yeah. Same old story.
Same problems.
Day. Same problems.
Yeah,
here, let me turn on this light right here. It's kind of dark.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I don't know if you edit this or not to be no pauses, but all right.
No, this is a live video feed.
Oh, killer. Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Oh, yeah, because we're going to do things later. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you've got this awesome friendship now with Vernon. Have you ever done any Living Color covers?
Not performed. I definitely I play them at home because I love the Shade album.
Yes.
It's like my favorite thing ever. And I just jam Come On all the time. One of my favorite songs is Glass Teeth.
Yes.
And they actually invited me. Oh my God. They invited me on stage to sing with them a couple of times on tour. And I was like, oh my God.
That Two Sides.
Yeah.
Two of my Glass Teeth and Two Sides are two of my favorite tracks off that album.
Yeah. The whole out. So I just like jam their music like at home, and I don't really try to attempt Vernon solos. They're too crazy. They're like too like insane.
It's kind of funny to hear you say that because I'm watching these videos of you and you're just like an acrobat on your guitar. It's the stuff you pull off is incredible. What are you playing? I know you got a Fender endorsement, but what Fender are you playing? What kind of amps? Do you have a rack set up, or are you playing through different pedal? What's your setup, I guess?
I just use a Fender. It's called like an American Pro Stratocaster. It's like a reissue, like 2017. It's my favorite. It's like I love the whammy bar. I also love the Telecaster, just, American made here. And mainly that Strat is my thing. And like you can even see it back here, but I use this Fender bass breaker. It's a big 210-inch, and it just sounds really creamy and big and fat and I use Nexi pedals. Nexi's they're like this vintage Amsterdam pedal company. They make like waterproof pedal boards and stuff, like wireless too.
Oh, that's perfect for playing outside and on a promenade.
Exactly. Yeah. I was having a lot of trouble with humidity, especially near the beach. So they came through. And it's really cool. Nexi pedals. That's kind of what I'm doing. I also have I had this guy, Thomas Nordig. He's Vi's guy. And he does Steve. Who else? He does everybody. He does Malmsteen and Dweezil and all these guys. Wow. He builds their pedal boards and is their guitar tech. And he's just he built me a pedal board, and it's genius. It's just all to my favorite specs. He gave me this pedal called the Freak Out pedal. It's like a Zappa sustain pedal that has weird noises if it goes into outer space.
Awesome. That's one thing I'm not nearly as talented as you, but I've taught myself how to play. I just make noise and I just bash on my guitar, and my kids yell at me and my wife yells at me, but I have a blast just making noise. One thing I've always wanted is a sustainer, the Fernandez makes that sustainer, like Satch's sound, where he just keeps it going on and on and on. I love that. Yeah.
You should. Oh my God. When you get that, you're you'll never want to leave the guitar ever again. Yeah.
What kind of whammy are you using? Is it a Floyd Rose, or is it something a little different? Because you go ham on that thing.
It's just what do you call it? It's not a Floyd. It's just a raised or a floating trem. So just a little raised, so I could go back a little bit. And I try to put this. I can't remember what it's called, but I use it's like Steinberger tuning pegs. I kind of modded my guitar to have those pegs and this certain little nut where the strings float on two little tiny balls each string. So the more they float, when they're not touching something, they're less likely they go out of tune, and the Steinbergers keeps it from breaking too easily. Wow,
that's awesome, because that's always a thing. You go crazy on that thing, it's going to knock it way out of tune.
Yeah, and it has a lot, all the time. No matter what, it's still going to go out of tune.
Well, I also read or heard or something you went to Nairobi to write music.
Yeah, I did. And
what was that about?
I just went on a whim, I
just go to Nairobi.
Yeah. Or my girlfriend's parents were living there, and they had a place. I was like she goes there every year, and they invited me, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go. I've never been before. So, but when I got there, I was like, let's book some shows. Come on, I brought my guitar. Might as well. So I played a few shows, and it's a college town too. It's a college city. So I made some friends, some lifelong friends there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you write anything that is coming up on any new releases, or anything that you've already released?
In Nairobi, huh? Let me think. There is one song I wrote, and I recorded it with Vernon. Vernon produced it, but I wrote it, I think, in Nairobi. I actually started writing it in Poland, and then, and I guess I finished it in Nairobi. It's kind of weird.
Totally international song.
Yeah, right. Never touched American soil, but I think it's called Different, and it's a song that's already recorded, and might as well put it out. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, because I'm looking through the stuff. I'm hearing the covers and all are great, but man, I'm dying to hear more of your original stuff, because it's so unique. I mean, I'm looking at the tracks here. And there's Click on Me, There Is No Me, Fine Lines, which by the time this comes out will be out. Another Day, Face Me, and then I saw another one that I can't remember the name of it. It's you're in your American flag shirt on the video.
Oh, in the video, is it like a live video?
No. Here's the thing. Here's my problem with you.
Okay.
I go on YouTube and I look up Derek Day. And every time I go and look you up, I never find the same videos. There are so many videos of you doing all kinds of stuff. And I want to find a certain one and I can't find it because every time I go, it pulls up a whole slew of new things I haven't seen.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. I don't know what the algorithm is with your name, but man, it pulls up all kinds of stuff. Every time I go, I'm finding new stuff like the live version of Hallelujah that you played with your buddy.
Oh, yeah.
She's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, Debbie Holiday.
Yes.
She rewrote Face Me together. And she produced the track. She made it happen.
That's that version it's amazing. I absolutely love it.
Cool.
And it kind of
awesome.
That kind of reminded me. I was asking. I sent your music, one of the videos on YouTube to a buddy of mine. I'm like, who does this guy's voice remind me of? I said, I can't think of it. And he's big into 80s and 90s metal. I'm like, what? Tell me what you think. And he's like, it's kind of like Jeff Buckley meets Ronnie James Dio.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
that's awesome.
I'll take, that works. That's what it sounds like.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm getting a lot of different feedback on whenever I send your stuff to people, but it's all positive. So
yeah, God, Jesus. Oh my God. That's awesome. It's so cool. I want to send you the Fine Lines video. I'll do it later.
Cool. Yeah.
We were the whole music video, and I'm sure I just want you to have it, just to look at
I appreciate that. Well, I've got to. All right. So this is more of a general question for you because I've had a wide variety of people on the podcast so far, and one thing that I've wanted to ask because I've had one or two other bands that are just emerging that are very influenced to my ears. They sound like they're very influenced by 80s, 90s LA metal.
Right.
And I can hear that in some of your music. There's a band called South of Eden. I hear it in their music. Is there a resurgence of that coming on? Are you seeing that while you're playing out in LA and Santa Monica or wherever you're playing? Is there an interest in that music that's bubbling up?
Yeah, I think, like the whole thing is, I don't know what the saying is, but it's like everything is sort of cyclical, or fashion and music is cyclical. But a couple years ago, or maybe like 10 years ago, Tame Impala and this band called Temples, and there's a lot more shoegazy bands too, not like that, but even more. I think they're trying to emulate the 60s and stuff. And
the psychedelia.
Psychedelia, tripping out, and then just creating atmospheres. But now, you're right. I think it's getting heavier. It's like, let's get Marshall amplifiers and stuff, get big, kind of like long-haired leather jackets. I'm definitely seeing that all around, especially in Hollywood. But I follow a lot of guys around here, like just on Instagram. I noticed that they're like, not really any synthesizers or keyboards on their tracks. They just like 2 guitars, bass, drums, vocals, maybe 1 harmony.
Yeah.
And they're keeping it raw, and that's pretty cool. Like, I love it. And then some of it's original, some of it's not.
Yeah. and vocally, I'm hearing a lot of guys, guys that sound like, David Coverdale or, Robert Plant kind of, or, guys that sound like the 80s metal even, and that's what I kind of grew up on. So I'm just really fascinated by how that's coming back around.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely awesome. It trips me out though, because like, what is fashion? Like, I don't get it. Like,
well,
I don't know what it is.
Like you said, everything's cyclical, man. So whatever I've got, all my clothes, I just hang on to it, and in 10 years, I'll be back in style.
Bam.
So
yeah, man, I remember mom jeans was like a huge thing when I was going to high school, like 7 years ago or something. I don't even know when. I don't know how old I am, but yeah, like mom jeans was a huge thing, and they still kind of are. Like,
yep.
I mean,
two daughters, and that's what they like, and I'm like, okay, because that covers more of you, so that's fine with me.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's totally good. Yeah.
But it's funny because God, when I was in high school, the big thing were tight jeans but big sweatshirts, and then I saw that coming back a few years ago. And I'm like, and ripped jeans. That was big when I was in high school. Like the more rips, tears in your jeans, the better. And now my daughters are wearing that. I'm like, you have real jeans that are whole and complete. Yeah. Wear those. I pay good money for those. But that's not what's in style, Dad.
Yeah, right. And you're like, oh, you guys are up kind of north, so like it's cold.
I know.
Like, cover up. Like, ooh.
I know. Put some more on. I don't want to see any skin. So.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. That's such a trip.
I did notice another thing on your videos, that you do like to smash things into your face.
Ah, yes. Oh, that's so funny. You haven't even seen the Fine Lines video. Okay, cool.
I have.
Oh, you have? Okay, cool. Awesome.
Ali sent it to me.
Awesome. Oh, great. So you have it. So good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've... Is there a reason you like smashing things into your face? Mud and cake and...
Mud, cake.
Is there anything else?
There are, like, I love doing that stuff. I mean, I made other videos that never were released, but like just anything, whatever's near. And it's always like improvisational. It's never really planned or scripted. So I don't know what it is. I just feel like, yeah, it's just my go-to. There's no real specific reason. I just feel like maybe like I want every character I am in the video to have like an alternate persona at the end of the video. Maybe like at the end, we're going to be someone else. Like it's like the song. I feel like I try to write songs that are always metamorphosizing, and that's not a word. Metamorphic song. But like, no, but like
morphing.
Songs that
we'll go with morphing.
Morphing. I always want them to like kind of be something different by the end, but also the meaning, they always change over time. They always find a new meaning, and like I want to try to capture that in the video. So like I'm a different thing at the end. I have like this mask I put on, or this Batman thing happening, or whatever. Okay. By the end of the song, I'm like this. I've changed with the song somehow.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And who's in your band now? Because you have so much freaking energy. Your band's got to keep up with you. I mean, not just running around on stage, but your guitar playing. Who's in your band, and how did you find these guys? Because they've got to keep up with you.
Well, you know, in LA, you got the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
you got everyone.
True.
Like, everyone's like just dialed in, and every song has a different like player, honestly. But for the last couple singles, it's been Alan Toka on the drums. He's from Jersey originally, but he's lived here for like 10 years or so.
And go Jersey.
Yeah. I grew up there. Super cool dude. Oh, nice, awesome. Garden State.
Yeah, it's Central Jersey. Yeah. There is a Central Jersey, and I grew up there.
Nice, killer. Yeah, he lived out like in a farm somewhere. It was kind of like in a barn or something.
Yeah,
I don't know where.
That's like the area that I grew up. Is all rural.
Oh,
a lot of farms.
Oh, cool, killer. But yeah, Alan Toka, he's an amazing power drummer. He hits real hard, and he's really fast, and he like climbs rocks. But also, and then like I had Ben White on a couple. He's just another amazing. He played on Click on Me, on Fine Lines, on the record. It's Nick Diorio, just another great young bass player here, and just a bunch of friends, people I just meet. Like I really like you. Let's just do this together, this one thing together, and we do it. And then we're like, cool, thanks. And then and then my live performer, my live performing band is Alan Toka whenever he can, and Leanne Bose, and she's just like an incredible. She's got like a good thumb. She's very versatile.
Yeah.
And I really want to record with her next, actually. That'd be cool.
That would be great because she is amazing. You guys are so tight in the live videos.
Look at yourself. Look inside past what you do. It's on the shelf. It's right here, right in front of you. I might as well turn myself right into. I'm trying to help.
Yeah. She and her harmonies too. She like finds my tone.
That's true. So you guys definitely need to record something. Maybe that song from Nairobi.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, that one was recorded.
Oh, that's recorded. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right. So what would a full length Derek Day album sound like? Because you've got so many different styles that you're fluent in.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. Probably more honed in on like a heavy blues or something. But I don't know, like nobody wants to take chances on someone like labels. I've tried to like shop like songs like Click on Me and like other tunes before they released to certain labels, and they were like, you're a little too everywhere, man. Like Social Kittens to like maybe this style, and on other days like this, but then this is like that. It's like they don't know, labels don't know what to do with it. So full length, that's why I do singles only. I'm like, here's just a cool little thing for what I'm feeling right now. Bam.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll feel like this. So I don't know I honestly don't know what a full length would be.
Wow. Well, that's, Bandcamp is perfect for that too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And you could just buy it, pay what you want or whatever,
Yeah. You just put out one single at a time once it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that you got robbed once. Maybe I don't know. You mentioned one time that you got robbed.
For sure, at least once. Yeah.
Is that the worst live experience you've had, or is there anything that tops that?
Oh man. Damn. I mean, I've fallen down.
But you can make that look good.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I try to. Sometimes I try to do it intentionally. Got
to make those people late for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to be late for the movie. Miss not just the previews. But man, I think one time it was an important gig, and it was like my amp went out or something. It was something stupid technical, and it was an important gig, and I was like, damn it, this is not cool. Like that really, and I'm like the king of technical difficulties on stage all the time, breaking strings middle of the song, but I could deal with that.
Yeah.
But then something happened. I think it was like I played just a local, I don't know, maybe it wasn't that important, but it really sticks out to me when like, oh man, like for the whole, like half a song, I'm not hearing my guitar, because I could at least play on, like, I think Phil Sace does something where he bends, or Phil X, they have this trick where they bend up to the note, like even if their guitar's all out of whack, you could still make it sound like it's in tune. You just kind of like,
you had to work harder, but
yeah, exactly. So, and it's almost fun. Like, okay, cool. Like, let's challenge accepted. But yeah, when your sound is off, I'm like, oh, that's not cool. And that's happened a couple times. And that's just like, oh man. And you don't know why. And it's probably just one guitar pedal that just gave up, or one cable that's just now decided to not work anymore. I hate that.
Do you have a favorite live experience and something that happened, on stage or otherwise?
Man, well, there's one live experience. Vi asked me to perform with my band at the Mama Jamathon. It's like a charity event he did. It's like 52 hours long of charity nonstop. Wow. But he asked me to come up with him and Moby, and then again with him and Vernon. Oh, and I was like, we did like a whole lot of love or something, and I was like, God, this is insane. So that was something that really stuck out to me forever. I'm like, got to meet Moby, and he's like a genius, and
that's crazy.
And then also playing the Palladium, just in general. I've said this before. It's just, there's something really weird about that venue. When you're on stage, it's like really heavy. And I can only describe it as, it's very nerdy, but I used to watch Dragon Ball Z when I was younger. And there's this thing in there where they go to train the hyperbolic time chamber. When there's a new evil guy that's like destroying everything, they go in the hyperbolic time chamber for like 3 days or like for 3 years, but it's only like 3 days in the real world.
Oh, wow.
And it's super heavy. And they're like, bah, and they're like, everything's really heavy. And they just train. That's what it felt like at the Palladium. I was like in this weird time, non-existent time heaviness happening.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
For some reason, that jogged a question in my head. You've done a bunch of like Zoom live streams.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest difficulty with that? Because I've seen musicians do it. I've recorded on Zoom, and to me, it's no different than Skype. I still have, some buffering issues, lagging issues, but I see these guys doing these like I saw Alex Skolnick, Charlie Benanti, and I don't remember who was on bass, and they were doing YYZ by Rush, and it was flawless, and it was amazing. And I'm like, I can't even do that on a podcast. I can't get two people to talk and keep it in sync. How is this happening? Are they recording their own end? I mean, can you let me in on the secret there?
And you're like, and these guys that you see, are they in different places at once?
Yeah, it's like 3 different Zoom feeds, and I was just like, this is. Maybe I need to actually pay for Zoom.
Whoa, no, it's not a Zoom thing. The technology it's in the works. I know some companies. I know there's one company like I think it's like called Coffee or Caffeine or something, and they're just working on latency issues with that sort of thing. They've been, but no one's quite hit it yet. Like where you could do that. I think those guys. They're playing live into a thing, but they record it. It's pre-recorded. They edit it later, and then they put it out.
That's what I figured, because I get all kinds of weird buffering things going on just with 2 people on a Zoom call. What's your experience been like doing Zoom live stuff or live streaming shows?
It's been great. I did like one every single week since the pandemic happened, and then I slowed down because it was just me by myself in a house. Yeah, and but I use like this, like IK Multimedia uses this like iRig like live stream thing, and it makes it sound like really crisp, clear. It just sounded good.
Oh, nice.
And it's been good. Like I would do some like where I would get like just put my Venmo pin there, and I'll get money, or I'll pin like a charity for certain things, and it would just donate to the charity. And but it's just been positive, but I wouldn't say too much of a learning experience. I didn't really get anything too much from it,
Just the ability to play.
Yeah, just playing with the. Yeah, and like the interaction part was really fun. Just like reading the comments, and everyone's like, we become friends.
That's awesome. Well, look, you just got the best energy. You're so positive, and I absolutely love it. It's just been a blast talking with you I've kept you a little over an hour at this point. I really thank you for your time, and it's been so much fun, and I'm looking forward to what's coming up next. And I don't do a whole lot of following people on Spotify and YouTube for the show, but I've followed you and subscribed to your YouTube channel because it's just, I love what you're doing, and I love the energy that you're putting out.
Thanks so much, Mark, man. Yeah, same to you. I love your energy. I'm glad we're friends now.
Me too.
Can't wait to come up to Virginia, and we'll play some music sometime.
I failed you now. I could not hold it in. I could